Alright guys, in today's video we're working on a 2004 Chevrolet Cavalier, and the owner's complaining about a problem with the door squeaking whenever they open it. Now this is not your normal kind of metal hinge type squeak. This is like a rubbery plastic rubbing on plastic kind of squeak. Let me let you hear that by moving the microphone down near the door, and then we'll take a look at what it is. So that squeaking you hear, if I swing around to the other side now and put a flashlight down here, that squeaking is coming from, and we zoom in right down here behind this switch, this liner that is part of the fender area has deformed and protruded out, and it's catching the door, right? So if you watch that, you can see that's what's getting squished and making that noise. Now, when they first brought this to me, I tried pushing this thing back into position into the fender. We've tried that twice. It just keeps creeping back out. So either the liner itself is deformed and damaged, or the retainer that's on the other side that holds it is no longer keeping it in place. So we're going to have to go inside the fender well and figure out which of those it is. All right, let's take a look in the service manual and see if we can find the part that we saw moving. So I'm in the fender replacement area, and if we take a look at the fender replacement, here's that liner that we see protruding in. So normally this liner is sitting up and inside here, right between the fender and the cowl. And it looks like there's some push pin type retainers and possibly some type of bracket here. I see here they talk about this piece of a bracket, so I'm not really sure if this is part of what's holding it. We're going to have to get in there and find out. But I don't think we're going to have to remove the fender to check this out. What I'm going to try to go do is pull the wheel liner, the plastic wheel liner out, so we can have a peek in here and see what's going on. Alright guys, 19mm socket. You can pull the wheel off, and now we have access to this inner fender liner. There's 1, 2, 3, and one on the bottom T30 screws if this factory mud flap is here. There's going to be 2 push pins here, one here, and then one way over here in the dark that you guys can't see. But if you come over, if I flip the light around, you can see this is like a 2-piece. We're taking off this piece. We're going to leave this piece. And we're just going to see if we can take this off and peer inside this fender and see what's going on with that liner that should be just right behind here. Alright, so we can access this just with those 4 T30s, these 2 push pins, and the one that's right up here where my hand is, and peeling this back a little bit. We didn't take anything else off because it's just enough to get in here. Hopefully with enough light here you guys can see this liner is deformed and just kind of hanging out. So this is the problem. This with age has just decayed. Now the other thing I did when I first opened this up is, you see down here on the ground there's a bunch of dirt and leaves. It's a good idea if you're in here, reach your hand in and get all that crap out of there, because it can lead to corrosion. Since we're in here, we'll go ahead and keep cleaning that out. But what we're going to do now is we're going to try to get you guys so you can see inside this fender where this attaches. Alright guys, so this whole liner is all this piece here, and then if we kind of come up with the flashlight and the camera, I've already got the tool on what appears to be the 1 push pin that's still holding it. I don't know if there's more that have let go or what. And then, you keep going up here. It's just kind of flopping right here. So let's pull that 1 push pin out and pull this thing out of here and see what's causing it to droop. Alright, with that push pin removed, this whole thing should just come out. Yep. It's just kind of hung up. Alright, so that's the liner, and we can see it's all deformed. I don't know if it originally got caught in the door, but it's ripped, so we're not going to be able to get this one to work. We're going to have to replace it. It's got a part number on it of 22700056, right hand. So let's see what else we got inside here. So there's still some crud down here that we're going to want to clean out. But there's the bracket we saw in the service manual, and it looks like it's just the one connection, and then we can see our door hinges. So the only thing that holds this on is just one push pin and friction fit. So that's what a source of our noise is, and that's what we're going to have to replace to repair it. All right, guys, if we zoom in on the bottom of the fender here, there's a little trough. If we get all this crap out of here, what's supposed to happen to this trough is this is where water runs through. You can see it comes out the water hole at the bottom. So clean all this out. Will prevent some rust from occurring in here if it hasn't already. All right, guys, here's our replacement 2270-0056 right-hand side fender liner. Same part number as original back in 2004. We also grabbed some of these 10, 12, 1502 push pins because some of the ones that came out were kind of tired. We're just going to go push this guy in. There's a little retaining tab up on top. This little piece here is supposed to be a help of retaining it, and then the push pin is going to go in right through here. I'm going to go ahead and get it into the fender, and then we'll show you the different mount points. All right, so when you push this guy in here, you want to make sure the hole through the bracket is showing through the cutout on the new liner, and you're pushing up against the bracket to seat this guy and make sure he's in all the way, at least on this edge. This flap fits into this recess on the cowl, just like that. It just sits there. Now, you know, this is going to be depending on how much body molding was used when this car was built, rather, how much this is going to sit. But it just gets wedged up against it, and this guy just kind of wedges right underneath that cowl piece like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just sits like that. And then all the way at the top, I don't know if you guys can see all the way at the top, you've got a cutout here, and that cutout where my finger is, if we zoom in, so this little cutout right where my finger is so that you can get that flap to go up across this piece here. It's part of the cowl. And then this other piece sits down below it. And then that goes all the way up into the very top corner. So all we got to do now is grab one of those new push pins. And go up where we had this hole lined up. And now that they're new, they're going to be super hard to get in there. And now we're done. Now we can put the wheel liner back in, and we'll go test the door. All right, guys, taking a look on the inside again. If we come down with the flashlight and zoom in, right just above, let me see, right there, you can see there's the push pin protruding into this area that we pushed in through that bracket that retains this liner. And then if we go down a little bit further with the light, we can see the actual liner below that push pin, which is black right there. And so we can see the door is normally well away from that. I'd say a good inch or so of travel. It's never supposed to be anywhere near that. So this fixes that problem. It's a pretty simple repair, as you saw. There's one of these on the left-hand driver's side as well, but it's a different part number. I'll put the part number for both of these in the video description, along with the part number for the little push pins that hold it in and that hold the liner in. It would be the same approach to repair the driver's side if you had that kind of a problem there. If you found this video useful and it helped you get your Cavalier or your Sunfire squeaky door fixed, go ahead and leave a comment below. I really appreciate it. And if you find this video saved you some money and time, I appreciate you paying it forward by hitting that like button. And as always, thanks for watching.